and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope the week is starting very well for all of you. Don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. I am extremely close to 700 subscribers, so it'd be very nice to clear that hurdle. So thank you very much in advance for your support. By the way, on Wednesday, we're going to have the live stream as usual. Around the same time, I'll try to do it. Although this week, it's not such an active week. I mean, pretty much all the big events and big news came out last week. CPI, of course, will come next week, and this week there's really not that much things going around. I did mention I expected stocks to kind of slow down here a little bit and talk about slowdown. It's extremely boring today, and to basically stay within more tighter ranges and to consolidate a little bit and eventually even drop a bit. Now, Russell is the index that it's actually down quite the most. It's typically linked to the regional banks and to a bunch of zombie companies. So companies that basically were allowed to survive and thrive during extremely low interest rate period. But as soon as that interest starts to go up, you start to see the vulnerabilities of those businesses, and it becomes quite obvious why they're going down. While industrials, which are in the Dow Jones, are more resilient, the S&P and Nasdaq, of course, benefit from the tech stocks and the AI movement and the AI hype, which I do think there's a lot of hype now, but it's still one of the most promising areas for the future, no doubt. You know my opinion on it, so no need to waste time on this. Now with crypto, we are staying above the 35,000 on Bitcoin. Ethereum's catching a bit. I think going above $2,000 will be very important for Ethereum to clear that mental barrier, that psychological barrier. And of course, if Ethereum starts to pump, the altcoins tend to pump even further because they are liquidity bonded to Ethereum. Now, after my video yesterday, since I'm a bit on the bullish mode. I mean, sometimes people actually tell me that I'm too bearish. In certain cases, I'm not too bearish. I have three scenarios, as you know: the bearish, the base case, and the bull case. And I have a strategy for each of them. So whatever happens, I should do well in any case. But I would like to discuss something today, which would be around the conditions for being bullish. So basically the bull case theory, the blue sky theory. So it's to go through a list of why there's the possibility that we're going to see crypto raising much more than anybody expects. So you see, the key for this to happen is that the expectations of people for the price of Bitcoin need to keep increasing. What do I mean by that? Currently, the consensus price for Bitcoin is $150,000. Of course, what's going to happen? If everyone is expecting at $150,000, then by 120 or so, a lot of people start selling, and no person will buy above 120. So most likely, we're not even going to get to 150. See what I mean? Because since everybody's looking at it, everybody front runs their play, and who's going to buy? If everyone thinks that Bitcoin's going to top at 150K, who's going to buy even at 100K for a 50% rise? Very few people, let alone at 120K. See what I mean? So in order for people to buy at 150K, those people need to think that Bitcoin is going to 300K or to 500K or to a million or whatever. Otherwise, they won't buy it. It's very simple. So Last cycle, everybody was saying Bitcoin 100k, Bitcoin 100k, Bitcoin at 100k. So as soon as we get to 65, 70k, what's the point in buying if everybody thinks we're only going to go to 100k? You see, you need people's expectations to go to 500,000, 700,000, so then they are willing to buy it at 250, 300k. See what I mean? That's the point. Now, what could cause something like that? I would say the latest estimates that I've seen of how much money will come into crypto from the Bitcoin spot ETFs, not just BlackRock, but all the others, is somewhere between 6 and 15 trillion dollars. Now that's a huge range, by the way. That's not a small range. And let's put this into perspective. The total crypto market cap in the last cycle at the peak was $3 trillion. So this would be double the previous peak. If it's 15k, well, it would be 5 times the previous peak, which means Bitcoin, I think, could go to something like 300, 400k, and altcoins would go through the moon. So, first step is actually this prediction or this estimate needs to happen. So that is number one. Number two, that I would say is a positive for crypto, is the recession, a recession coming. Now, I'm actually more convinced that we're going to get a recession next year, exactly because all the top economists and the Fed and the banks are saying no way we're going to have a recession. So that tells me that now it's more likely we're going to have a recession. So I do think we're not going to increase rates anymore. I mean, unless the only way I'd see it is if the CPI number comes so bad that it would flag them that they need to raise rates. Okay? So it needs to be outrageously bad. But since the inflation numbers in the Eurozone have come down so aggressively, I don't think we're going to see a big increase in the US. Maybe I'm wrong, but I actually think we're probably going to have better than expected lowering of inflation. So yes, rate cuts and money printing back again. So you'd need that. What else? You'd need a couple more countries adopting Bitcoin, particularly countries whose currency has been destroyed over the years. Thinking about countries like Mexico, Argentina, Nigeria, around those countries. So that would be extremely positive for crypto, and that could really push it substantially higher, because now you're talking about countries needing to accumulate Bitcoin as reserves. So now you're talking about huge levels of leverage that can even supersede what we've seen in the previous cycle. So that is also for the bull case. What else? The coming of institutional money kind of legitimizes the industry, if you will, and you start having not just a small group of diehard crypto fans, and you start having average, your parents, your grandparents, getting exposure to crypto. Maybe, here goes a crazy idea, maybe crypto or Bitcoin starts to be recommended by these big players as part of an ideal portfolio. So you see how they always say, oh yeah, you should have some bonds, you should have some stock, you should have maybe some commodities and some Bitcoin, things like that. You see? So all of a sudden, it starts to be part of the recommended investment programs. That would also be part of the bull case. What else? You would also start to see basically companies consistently issuing shares or bonds on the blockchain. So basically the so-called tokenization of securities. I think that would be so basically you need to start seeing crypto and blockchain technology replacing what we see in the legacy finance world, and bond issuance is one of the main ones, and digital bonds tend to be substantially cheaper. So these are some of the things that we would need to see. What would also be helpful would be a very simple, objective regulatory framework, and actually have regulators working to improve the space rather than working to destroy it, as we currently have. Now, finally, to close the video today, a little bit about XRP. Of course, XRP is pumping about 71 cents, so we are pretty much back to the price that we've seen when they won the SEC case. Now, you know my opinion of XRP. There's a lot of things that I don't like, namely the founders dumping it and Ripple dumping it over the years, billions of tokens onto their following, so I don't like that part. I do think they basically serve a purpose for big banks and financial institutions, so it all depends on if they will actually adopt XRP's technology or not. There are some rumors that they may be looking or preferring technology like Chainlink, which offers interchain operability across the different blockchains as a more efficient way to run their own technology and softwares. I don't know. It's anybody's guess. At this stage, they do solve an issue, because I think it's something like 2 to 3% of world's GDP is spent on companies like Visa, MasterCard, and all of that. However, and I've said this before, if you combine all the payment companies on the planet, at least the big ones, you get about a $1 trillion valuation, and gold as a $10 trillion valuation. So money, i.e. store of value, more important than currency and payment systems. And by the way, XRP is on its fourth cycle or so, or third or fourth cycle, sorry, I can't remember by head, which means the gains are more difficult. However, looking to the positives, very strong community, very dedicated community. The technology actually works fine. It's been working fine for a long time. It's grossly poorly marketed. I've said this before. And here is my take. I am not involved on XRP. I am not planning to be involved in XRP, but I want XRP to succeed. You see, I don't buy into the story that, oh my God, all the coins need to fail around me, so all the money comes to me, to the ones that I hold. No, I actually think if the ecosystem thrives, it gives comfort for people to come in and institutions to come in and actually adopt the system. So, for example, when I see things like FTX going bankrupt, sure, I mean, it's good that the guy is put behind bars, but at the same time, it completely, first of all, destroyed a bunch of people's lives. And number two, people that may be potentially looking into crypto, they see something like that and they immediately go away and they miss out on what I think can be a big opportunity. So I'm a bit on a different camp, which is I hope the ecosystems thrive. I hope good projects, which are not scams, thrive. And I do like to see more money coming into crypto and crypto actually being adopted. So I'm not so much in favor of these tribal fights. Now, everybody thought that as soon as a lot of crypto started to come in, that Bitcoin was gonna, maybe disappear or something. What have you seen? As more coins came into as more coins were developed, Bitcoin and Ethereum's price kept going up. So sometimes we have these preconceptions in our minds, but then reality shows you otherwise, and it's important to adjust basically your perception or your predictions to the reality, even though it can be different than what you expected. So guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. Let's hope that at least in the crypto side things become a bit more exciting. In any case, I'll catch you in the next one. And don't forget, Wednesday live stream, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, guys.